Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? How you doing? And welcome to today's video. Well, today's video is about the car ignition switch. What's the ignition switch? What is its purpose? How does it work? That's the purpose for today's video. Now, car ignition is what helps you to turn on and off your vehicle's electronics and your engine. So it's all done by the ignition switch. To be specific, for today's video, I'm talking about an ignition switch that features a removable key, along with that ignition that features an inbuilt key. So if you know that your car is any of those two, this video is specifically for you, especially if you're learning how to drive. So please stick around and tune in, and let's get started. To start the video, I'm talking about the markings or the basic markings that come with an ignition of such a layout. So you will find this on any ignition switch that features a removable key, along with an ignition that has an inbuilt key. So an inbuilt key ignition is one ignition where you can't take the key out of the ignition. For this one, it's a removable key ignition and you can take the key out. So if you look at the markings, you notice that you have the lock over there. You have ACC over there, that stands for accessory mode. You have on, and you also have start over there. So each of those markings or each of those settings affects the vehicle in its own way, and is what I'm going to explain to you in detail. The first setting to talk about is the lock setting. So currently my key is in my ignition switch, and my key has been turned to set the ignition to the lock position. So once the key is in the lock position, as it is right now, first and foremost, all the electronics do not function. If you try signaling like I'm doing now, nothing works. You notice that my radio is not working, my clock is not working, nothing is working. That is for lock. All electronics are offline, nothing works. Secondly, you can take the key out of the ignition switch once it has been turned to the lock position. So it is in lock. I can get the key out of the ignition switch. That is if the vehicle features a removable key ignition switch. So that is it. And lastly, I can also lock the steering wheel of the vehicle. So to lock the steering wheel of the vehicle, you have to first get the key out of the ignition switch, as I've done, and then I don't know if you've heard that click. It's only then that you can be able to lock the steering wheel of the vehicle. So if I try moving it, I don't know if you feel that noise to show that the steering wheel is locked. Second for the day will be the ACC mode or the accessory mode position. So when I turn the key to accessory mode, like I've done right now, there are going to be a few electronics that are going to start operating. First and foremost, the radio of the vehicle will start working. So if you want to use the radio of the vehicle, you have to be in accessory mode. The clock of the car will also start operating. So if you want to know what time it is, you have to be in accessory mode. Then, if I try plugging my dash cam, it is also going to start operating as it has done right there. If I wish to adjust my mirrors, my wing mirrors, I can adjust them. I'll show you in just like that. So basically that is it for accessory mode. The rest of the electronics do not work as yet. The fan does not work. The turning signals, nothing works as illustrated. So that is it for accessory mode. In accessory mode, you only use the radio, the clock, the cigar lighter, that is if you wish to charge up your phone. You can also adjust your wing mirrors. So that is it for accessory mode. Third for the day will be the on setting. So once I select on setting, or once I turn the ignition to the on position, most of my electronics are going to start working. So let me do that. So currently my ignition has been set to the on position. So in on position, all my electronics are going to start working. If you look at my dashboard over there, you notice that I'm having all these dashboard signs showing up. If I try signaling, I can signal. It is working. If I try using my windshield wipers, they are also working. If I try using the fan, I hope you can pick that sound up. My fan is also working. If I try lowering and putting up my windows, you notice that they also work. So in on position, everything works with the exception of the engine. So currently, the electronics are online, everything is working, but my engine is not operating. My engine is not running. Last for the day, I'm talking about the start position. So what is start? When do we use it? So start is used when the intention is to start the engine. Currently, the ignition has been set to the on position, meaning that the engine is on standby to start. However, it hasn't yet started. When I turn the key to the start position, I'm giving the car the command to start the engine. By doing this, I will be engaging the self-starter motor. The self-starter motor is what cranks your engine to start it. So we do that by turning this key and holding it in the start position. Once the engine rolls to life, we let it go. How do we turn the key to the start position without causing damage to the car? When we are turning the key to the start position, we do not hold it there for so long. Remember, I told you that once you turn it towards start and you let it go, it comes back to on. So once you're starting the engine, you shouldn't hold it in the start position for usually more than 2 seconds. It's quite a brief window to hold the key there and start the engine. So it's something similar to this. If I'm to start the engine, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start the engine for you in a while and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to turn the key from on to start. Just like that. Once the engine rolls to life, you let the key go immediately. Do not hold the key in the start position when the engine starts. You will be causing damage to your self-starter motor, wearing it down much faster. So I hope that is clear for start. The very last for today's video is about how you use the key or the ignition to turn the engine off. Currently the engine is running, as you may pick up the sound from the background. So let's say you've been driving and you wish to you're done with parking and you wish to turn the engine off. How do you do it? So many of my learner drivers usually have a problem. When you tell them to turn off the engine, they instead turn the key towards the start position. Once you do that, the engine is running, you're killing your self-starter motor. So when I tell you to turn off the engine, or once you wish to turn off the engine, you have to turn this key over here one step back towards the left side. So you turn to the right side, that is starting, and to turn off the engine or to cut the engine, you turn to the left side. So it's similar to this. So it is on, the engine is running, and to cut the engine, I'm turning the key just like that. So currently I turn the key to the ACC or to the accessory position. So when I do that, the engine is going to cut and turn off immediately. Then if I wish to get the key out of the ignition switch, I'm going to have to push in. I think you see this push over there. So I have to push the key in, hold it there, and then turn towards the lock. And it's only then that I can be in position to get the key out of the ignition switch. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope you've liked it. I hope it has been educative to you. You've learned something new. It hasn't been a waste of your time. If you've liked it and it has been of good help to you, do me a favor by liking the video, smash the like button, share it with a friend that may need it, and subscribe such that you're the first person to be notified in case I upload more of this content. I wish you guys all the best on the road. Drive safe, drive responsibly, respect one another, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All the best. Bye bye.